in Nigeria, including River State, I take care of my housing needs. I take care of my need for water because I call the Aboki man to fetch water for me. I take care of my electricity because the little they give in 1 or 2 hours is nothing that I near what I need. So you have a generator and then you fuel it. So you
Right.
take care of your transportation because there's no public transportation system at all in this town. You take care of your security because you are just praying your God and you're onto your own. Because if anything happens around you, there's even no one who is determined to secure your life at the expense of state. So then what really is the essence of government? Why are we still having them? And right now they are running around coming, seeking, canvassing votes of people. And then we will still, what we do during the election and participating in electionary processes is actually taking a part of the power and right we have, a little of it, we contribute collectively and then give to someone and say, go and represent us and do everything for our interests, for us. But they get there and don't. Because if they do, we won't have this situation where, like you said, children can't have access to food, while elsewhere, where government has become responsible, children are being catered for. There's probably a comprehensive health insurance cover for children of certain age. But right here now, from the first day a child is delivered, the parents have begun responsibility in respect to healthcare for that child. From the very moment that child is delivered in the hospital. Because if there is any health needs that that child needs to be attended to, the parents pay for it. And that's unimaginable.
You
It's
know,
just as if there is no government at all.
some people have said it wasn't the government who called them. Government didn't make that call for people to gather to collect
I
anything.
mean, that's a very pathetic perception and the way we reason here. And that's why we justify the failures of government. The government doesn't have to call them. The government is everywhere. The government is responsible for everything. Look at the way we are linking it to government. We are not saying government called them, right? But government has failed to provide those things. Otherwise, the religious body may not even see the need because nobody would have come to even organize that kind of outreach.
And
If government has
even if people had come, they would not have been so many. You
it
know,
could be as this desperate as it is. And then somebody will tell me it's not government that called them.
okay,
So, but well,
I understand where you're coming from. We'll continue with this conversation. Please stay on the line. But at this time, we're going to open the phone lines to take reactions at this point of the conversation. Do you, I mean, in your scale of who to blame, do you completely exonerate government? Where do you stand with this conversation right now? The call lines are open 081 17431 because as we said, we live in a country where citizens have endured years of scarcity, of deprivation, many years of not enough, many years of not enough. So the few that we see, everyone wants to get there before they say it don't finish, go reach again. So people leave early, people leave earlier. An event that was scheduled to start by 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, people got there the day before. The place was full as at 3:30 a.m. If you look at it, is it the failure of government, in your opinion, that has caused this clamoring for the limited few? What do you think? All right, 0705 0791 021. 0705 079 1021, 081 174 31021, 081 174 31021. Barrister Henry, in Nigeria, it's very typical of us to quote how things are happening abroad. But I'll go to this one after this call. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, the guest on the studio. My name is Olak, and I'm calling from Roma Lumeni.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Yes, the aspect of what you people are discussing, I think what happened in that polo club, in my own personal opinion, I believe that it's also caused by the government. For instance, for how many years now people have been crying, civil servants, they should pay the pensioners, they are not paying them. For the River State government to also employ, no way. Even promotion, no way. So I think we should doing all this analysis that I'm just telling you now, I think I'm really convinced that it's the Rivers State government that caused all these things, because I didn't think he provides all these things for all these people. I think what happened there could have not happened. That is just my take.
All right, thank you so much. So the thing is, it's not just Rivers State government, because there are people there who are not Rivers people. And there were many people who actually came from neighboring states and not just from Rivers State. And Rivers State is home to many people, right? You cannot just pinpoint one government and say it's one. And in this conversation, we're not pinning it on one government. We're pinning it on the government, federal, states, local even. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt. Hello? All right, good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning to you, my lady.
The Real Gift, welcome.
And good morning to the good barrister, our guest this morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir. But for me, like they say in my community, that when you blame a rat for eating up your fish, you also blame your fish for allowing the aroma to attack the rat. Now, blame government, especially when we now, some persons are even specific to say Rivers State government. Is it because of the pension I make every time Nandokuba we did there? Every time Nandokuba we did there, are the pensioners? Is it when we look at we should look at issues holistically. For me, I blame government also, because on one hand, I think the government should have been on the know when some of these events are supposed to take place. And give them notice, or say, let's say 1 week, and then you lay out your plans, the safety plans, the security plans, and what have you. Because the truth is that, like we said earlier, this is the 4th edition of this program. The first 3, nobody hear any story like this. And this one can happen like that means something went wrong. So for me, I believe that they did not manage the crowd properly. They did not do what they ought to have done in terms of both security and safety measures. Because the truth is that, just like the good barrister, I remember the issue of recruitment for immigration service. Every time people went there at that time, all of them, they're unemployed. More than a fraction of those persons who went there are gainfully employed. But because in Nigeria, every time Nandokubo needs more, I can assure you that not everybody will go there. Okay, assuming somebody is going to a place like that, it's not for crusade, it's to shop for free. And then you went with kids as low as 3-4 years. What are we talking about here? Even you yourself, you did not even look at the safety measures from the outset. Bottom line, what has happened. Lessons are to be learned. Investigation should be holistic and proper with sincerity of purpose, so that at the end of the day, whatever findings they have made, publish it, so that others who want to organize things will learn from what has just happened. Almighty God, at least accept the souls of those who lost their lives.
Thank you so much.
And soonest recover to those who are in the hospitals. Thank you very much.
All right. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Amaka. I'm calling from Abloma.
Amaka from Abloma. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I want to look at what has happened as a confirmation of 3 facts. Number 1, the level of poverty in this land. Number 2, the fact that we don't place value on life and safety. And number 3, we do not learn from the past. These things around Stampede have happened over and over in this country. And so one would expect that if we have a responsible government, they should be able to draw lessons from these events and then map out actions for preventing further occurrence. Now, when we have measures to ensure that people's lives are safe and that these organizers are made to obtain approvals from government, which means that government would have taken time to ensure that measures are put in place to avoid occurrence.
What happened? Oh, my goodness. She was making so much points right there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is
All right. All right, please go ahead. I'll make it brief. Go ahead.
Let me say that there is no hunger in the land. That's why. But I will put it to you that over 30% of those who are here, Some of them are entire workers. Some of them are people who are jobless. Some of them are people that are even looking for something to eat. Because if those people have work, if people are engaged, they would have lived their work like some of us that are working. Why was I not there? The point is that when you have a large number of people that are handicapped, that's what you see in the society. The society would have done more better. The majority of them would have been in their place of working. Now look at close over 100,000 people are in a place. That is to tell you the poor engagement of governance into the system. So nobody should deceive us. Nobody should say that government should not be blamed. Imagine when government spends over 203 billion in spending for something that is wasteless, and you use that money to put into infrastructure, into education, into jobs, into creating wealth to the people of Rivers State. That 100,000 people that could have reached to 40,000 or 60,000. And that's something would have happened. So I blame government especially. Rivers State government has failed in their duty to position the Rivers people to be meaningful to themselves. What we have today is lazy and hungry, begging Rivers people that are crying for day to day to survive. It's quite unfortunate who are defending government for this kind of actions. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning, my sister.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is JAJ and I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
JJ, go ahead.
I remember some time ago, there was fire incident in JC Delta. I don't know if you remember that. There were other fire incidents, and on the 16th of July 2012, there was another fire incident in Okobe, River State here. And you know the story, right?
I remember. I definitely remember. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know if it was because they would not pay pension, arrears, and all those then too. See, even if it is the U.S. that they are doing this, people will always come out and say, look, they want to get this, they want to get that. And if you look at the whole story, even though I was not there, they said the incident, or let me say not the incident, the event hasn't even started. That at 3 a.m., people were already gathered. I don't think it's because of hunger. Last time it was in Konkom in Oyigbo, where people were going to scoop fuel. And at the end, they got burnt. Sometimes ago, too, there was this incident in One where the Nigerian custom had to seize some chicken. You remember the incident, right? And they said
I remember.
Expired
Yes.
chicken, and that they are burning it, they are throwing it away. They even poured diesel to try to burn it, and people went to dig it up.
I remember.
And so were eating it.
I remember.
Is it because, oh God, oh mercy.
What do you not think it is
maybe
because of
so.
hunger and lack? Do you not think? Do you not think
my
so?
Sister, my sister, let me tell you.
As you did, Oga JJ, let me ask you.
I'm coming. You asked me a question. Let me answer that one. Then you ask me another one. Now, after that time, they buried those chickens in One, right? Do you know that people drive jeep, very expensive car, they packed it and went down there to also carry some of those chickens and put in their motor and drive away?
I do not know that. I do not know that.
No, I have the video. I will send you.
Okay.
So
well,
ask me the next question.
I was going to ask you why you did not go. Why didn't you follow those people to go and get those chickens?
Everybody has their own. Even if I'm there, I will not go. Me, I'm one person that if you don't invite me to your stuff and you're doing things, I just drive past. I don't do that. Not because I'm too rich or too proud or too poor. It's just my principle.
All right.
You understand me?
I understand
so
you.
As far as I'm concerned, it has to do, not all the poor people in River State went there now.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand me. Not all the poor people. Even people who died in Okobe, it were not all poor. Some rich boys who thought they can just fill their tank, they just went. Even go and check the record.
Okay.
So for me, it's not about whether they pay or they don't pay. If you say it's because they don't pay, it means the Konkom incident, the Oyigbo incident, the Okobe incident, the chicken incident are all as a result of poverty and government not paying too.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
JJ. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
I would love to make a comment.
Yes, you respond after this call. Hello, good morning. Go ahead. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Akanto. I'm calling from Borough.
All right, please make it sharp. Go ahead.
I want to make it very snap. Yes, like what my senior have said at JAJ. I will not blame it
Oh, wow. I don't know what happened. All right, go ahead and respond, sir. Go ahead. Barrister Henry, go ahead and respond.
Okay, Obi. Yes. The last caller, that's before the one that just dropped, yes, has made a point, but that's on the other side of our attitude. But I think that may not really be the case or the position. Whether we agree or not, what we are saying is the influence of deprivation and poverty and lack on this kind of incidents. Now, you may not completely rule out an isolation of one person who probably is the poverty of his own of mind, even if he owns that SUV, but drives to take probably some adulterated chicken, something. But generally, it is poverty and deprivation that will drive people to this kind of desperation. That's the point we're making. And then again, it is not about some individuals who probably have retired and then pensions. Deprivation is across society, across all levels. When it affects one, it definitely will have an effect on another. Now, again, there is no way, it's arguable, clearly so, that anyone amongst these individuals we refer to, let's say the public office holders, governors, ministers, members of the National Assembly or state houses of assembly, to get themselves in this kind of desperation, that it's until they get access to these public places before they will get some means. And again, when some are saying that there are some people who probably have a meal a day, you also would not imagine the desperation of being sure of the meal of the next day. So somebody may actually have the meal of that day and then could still be seen to be in that kind of place because of the uncertainty of the meal of the next hour. So, but the point we are making is the man whose survival means is relatively guaranteed has a less propensity of exposure to this kind of risk.
Yeah.
Now, I would have asked the question, how many persons who would have been at work that would have been there at that time? How many persons who would have gone to work at 7 or by 8, as I am? I think that's why I'm speaking. I'm in the court. I have a matter in court now. If my matter was to be 9 o'clock and I was to leave my office by 7:30, even if I never had any meal in my house for my children,
you would go.
I wouldn't think going to get a meal. So that's the point we're making. If we have a society that is a high rate of employment, people will be meaningfully engaged.
And
even when they are employed, people they are not. It's underutilization of human capital.
And what we're
when
saying,
society underutilizes is danger.
Right. And just sorry to interrupt you, but again, what we're saying is the fact that that number of people would not have gathered there.
Not have been. Not that there wouldn't have been one or
not
two
that there
persons
would
who
not have
indeed
been a crowd
in need.
There would have been a crowd, but we would not have had that much. We would have had a much less number of people that would have been properly, managed. From eyewitness reports that we got, as we said, an event that was supposed to start for 9:30, by 3:30 a.m. the place was full, and they were pressing on to themselves, and then they broke that gate. In fact, the entire thing happened even before the event started. So it was.
If we were to take a reasonable statistics of the persons that were there, I would tell you that a reasonable proportion of the persons there are living below the poverty line.
Absolutely.
And also are unemployed. Clearly so.
You are
Those
correct.
persons will be living below the poverty line and will be unemployed and are largely deprived, probably do not have homes of their own, do not have means of livelihood, do not have access to economic opportunities, to harness economic opportunities, and even probably have children who are in school who they haven't been able to provide for, and then the government has no part of their responsibility taken over by government. If a man has 4 children and the government has guaranteed the free education of those 4 children, that this individual probably is little income, may be able to take care of feeding.
True.
If the government has been able to have a welfare program that can take care of the health care of children, comprehensive universal insurance, health insurance for children, and then their education. These are the points we are making. That's how government works.
Very
if anybody
true.
likes, you want to pretend here. That's why we are where we're here.
All right, let's just take a few more calls. Let's just take a few more calls and get reactions. All right, we lost that one. Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning, Divine from Uyibo.
All right, Divine from Uyibo. Go ahead and make it brief, please.
Okay. Okay. To me, I don't blame the people who set up this thing because they never knew that this unprecedented crowd they gathered here that day. They have been it over very successful, but they never knew this one will gather such population. So the causes of this poverty, the retirees and pensioners has not been paid, and there is no unemployment opportunity in our country today. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Yes, good morning. Yes,
morning.
Yes, my name is Afanto. Not doing without myself.
All right, go ahead, make it quick.
Like I was saying, yes. I am different from what ideas said that stop effect on poverty. I think you can look at that. Poverty is 2016 when this different when the present administration of PPP and some governors of take into power. They are not in any employment.
Your line is pretty bad. Your line is pretty bad, sir.
Can you get me now?
Okay, go ahead.
So the successive administration, the present government of Nigeria, led by APC, and some governors of some states in Nigeria, are not been doing so good. There have never been an employment in 2015 up to date in some states. And there is no employment in the federal civil service. So, and again, there is no welfare scheme put in place by the government of the day. Make people to search for livelihood. But you are aware of this, what they call it, all these boys that are doing online business, what they call it, Yahoo boy. Yahoo boy has not been here for over the past 7 years ago. There was not anything called Yahoo boy. But boys,
not exactly true. Anyways,
I know that we are on a public radio, but I'm telling you that all these things that happen in the society, that happen in Nigeria, is orchestrated by poverty. Poverty from the side. Government has never been giving a welfare scheme to the people. Government has not been employing youth. Who can example of youth, including we, including I'm a graduate of over how many years, 5 years today, without work. You know, youth are dividing me to earn a living. That is what that program that happened on GRA.
All right, thank you.
Because they are looking for food. They are looking for food to eat.
Thank you.
That's what happen. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Anna. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, you have only 1 minute. Please make it count.
Okay. First, my condolence to the church and the family of those who lost their lives. And secondly, I pray that God accepts the souls of those who have gone. Talking about the root cause of this, I want to agree that it is basically as a result of lack and poverty. And that is attributed to government. Because if people had something tangible doing, have work doing, nobody will wake up or stay awake from 3 a.m. for a program that was to start by 9 a.m. Stay awake all day, all night, just to come and shop for free. And then let me also let the public know that there was a time in Rivers State, I think it's getting to about 2 or 3 years now, the government promised to employ 5,000 youth. The media is well aware of that, but I don't know why the media is silent on that. Till today, that employment is a mirage. That employment did not see the light of the day, and they want to exonerate government. The government has impoverished Rivers people. That is the cost of this kind of incident. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Barrister Henry, please make your last words and your comments on this one.
Yes, my last, I would say that everybody has some responsibility to protect his or her life, even when we have the law guaranteeing a protection of your right. But you have to be very careful. One of the callers made the point also about sensitivity to safety issues. We have a society that we are very nonchalant and indifferent about issues of safety. So primarily we have to have that. And then, of course, the emphasis will remain that government has to be conscious to the welfare needs of citizens. The primary responsibility of government remains the welfare of the citizens, and of course, the security of lives and property. And then we expect that government should be more responsible, creates opportunities for citizens to have access to harnessing economic opportunities, create jobs, and then create employment. Bobby, I tell you, if you employ one person, it has an effect on 3, 4, 5, or if not more
of
the relatives of that individual.
Of course.
So if the government employ 5,000 youths, it didn't mean that only 5,000 youths have been provided for. Because when one individual amongst the 5 earns, he provides for his family or those who are around him. And then you reduce the number of persons who would have been completely probably excluded from survival. And also poverty. Thank you very much for this opportunity again.
Thank you so very much for joining me. Always a pleasure having you, sir.
I appreciate.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you've heard it. This is not a conversation exonerating everybody involved in this, you know, but we're looking at the fact that there's a bigger picture to all of this. There is. Now, if the government had and have been playing their role or roles, doing what they are supposed to do, and what we will all agree they have what it takes to do. I do believe that if there were supposed to be 50,000 people gathered every time there is a philanthropic call, there would be at least 50% less people showing up for such calls. And that's the fact of the matter. You know, that's a fact of the matter. Yes, we do have the way that we can just throw caution to the wind. We have our own issues. Yes, there is the issue of proper crowd control and management and all of that. See, this is one thing that I found out. When that stampede happened, nobody had to call the police, the military, and everybody to show up to control crowd. But when that crowd was gathering before the stampede, where were they? Where were they? It's like how you want to do something good for society, you have to pay the press in some cases, personally invite them to come cover your event. But when it's a calamity, the press shows up uninvited. So, again, we cannot afford, we cannot be hypocritical to leave government out of this particular one. And this is my opinion. IJ is here, and I'm going to hand over to IJ. But IJ, what do you make of all of this, the conversation that we've had so far so good?
I think I'm going to take your stand as well because, as part of the corporate responsibility of the government is to ensure that the living standard of the people are not as bad as the reality is right now. If in most state governments they're not able to meet up with just 30,000 naira minimum wage, okay? And if I look at the 30,000 naira minimum wage, for people who have families, how much is that money? Is it even enough in the first place? Why do they have to beg you to pay them? Why do pensioners need to protest, and cry before you pay them?
It's crazy.
Money's due them. And how much is that pension in the first place? No money. ASRI is on strike. Doctors are leaving the country. Okay, see. I'm a Nigerian, permit me, please.
Drain in that department.
Exactly. And they are complaining, and it's as though every complaint is falling on deaf ears. And so sometimes they get frustrated. They go on strike as well. It affects the people, the masses at the end of the day. When does it get better?
People, just to follow your line of thought about doctors leaving the borders of Nigeria. I mean, some people would say, how do you blame the government? If someone sees a greener opportunity, it's their personal decision to travel. But look at it this way. If I had a job,
who wouldn't take it?
Especially those doctors in the public sector.
Yeah.
How much is their hazard allowance? Then you would cry for the years that they spend acquiring the knowledge and skill.
Definitely. And in a situation where you have one doctor doing a job meant for 6 doctors, you even have people who are supposed to be on housemanship taking up, jobs as though they're already real professionals in the field just because they have limited hands. And then the people who are there still don't get paid when they should be paid. They don't even get paid enough money. I mean, there's like frustration in most aspects of our society.
Absolutely.
And it just rubs up on everybody. We're complaining about that. The price of things are still going higher by the day. How do you expect these people to cope? The government owes this country a whole lot. And this time is the election period, and monies are flying here and there. I'm hearing billions of naira. I'm hearing 500 million. And I mean, so there's actually money to spend, you know, to get forms, to do campaigns that you're not even sure.
Delegates are now the big boys.
You're not even sure you're going to win. And these things are happening right in front of us, and people can't even afford one out of the 3 square meal. And they are working. These are not lazy people.
And, you know, we like to say, oh, this government is doing well. This government is doing this. How many of those projects are actually human capital developmental projects?
Exactly.
Yes, you do. You build roads. You do all of those things. Those things have a ripple effect, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
It has no direct influence. There's no direct way that it puts money in the hands of people. At least a good percentage of people. In my closing words, I want to just say this should be a wake-up call for all of us.
But, you know, fine, it should be a wake-up call. But, you know, I don't think people need to wait until the government needs to wait until things bad like this happen before they consider to sit off. You understand me?
You know, I'm saying it's a wake-up call for all of us. Everybody who has means, do what you can do for the less privileged around you. You know, take someone from your community. If you can, train one young man or one young lady who will in turn train her siblings or train a cousin or train another person. Continue to, companies, private organizations, fulfill your corporate social responsibilities. That way we are helping one person at a time, and we're not all relying on the government, because there is the part the government can do, but there's a part for all of us as individuals.
And the government also needs to create an enabling environment for these people to be able to do all of this.
So in the end, it comes back to the government. Anyways, enough said. My name is Obi Ivy. Don't forget to follow us across social media at Super FMPH on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But on Instagram at Super FM 93.3. My name is Obi Ivy. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Don't forget, drink a lot of water and mind your business.
Online. This is Super FM, Nigeria's #1 lifestyle talk and urban radio station.
Oya Claro Joe, who they breathe? This not Super FM. We don't show.
If no one knows how amazing your products or services are, then how can you make money from it? That is why you should hurry now with your jingles, special announcements, religious programs, political programs, and more. And let's take them directly to your target audience, as Super 93.3 FM PH is open for business. That's exactly right. Just walk into our commercial office located downtown at number 56 Agri Road by Sokoto Junction, Port Harcourt, or simply call our marketing sales rep on 091-5729-0709. Again, 091-5729-0701. Super 93.3 FM PH. We guarantee your satisfaction.
When other stations show up,